What's up, everybody? I'm James, and I'm kind of doing my month later review of the DTEK 50. I've got to say, I was hesitant, and I've said it before, on going with an Android / Blackberry phone. I didn't want to go with the Priv because of the fact that there were a lot of inconsistencies that people were reporting on. And in all honesty, I mean, what do you expect from a first try of doing that? But they've really nailed it. I think they have it down, and now I'm kind of regretting not getting the Priv. But at the same time, I'm glad I waited for this to come out. Getting the phone was a bit of a pain in the ass. I still have to do a video about that. But at the main time, I'm going to talk about some of my favorite things with this phone. First off, I'm not big on apps, but now that I've actually got the proper apps that I use, I'm enjoying it. The way they correspond is fantastic. One of the features that I've kind of figured out how to use on this, and I already cleared this with Kylie Ann, and I'm waiting to hear back from Bart to see if I can use his thing, but I'll go with Kylie Ann's. I did do an original take of this video, but I kind of stalled out at the end of it, and because I don't know how to do my editing and I just don't have the time to learn, I've got to refilm this whole thing because it's actually quicker for me to do it that way. So what I'm going to be featuring is one of my favorite features to use now, is the voice to text feature. Now, the great thing with the voice to text feature is the fact that it actually registers everything that I'm saying, and unlike other phones that I've used, the amount of typos or mistakes are pretty much next to none. Period. The only time that I have issues with this feature is when I'm saying somebody's name that it can't register. Period. As an example, if I was to say the name Naveen, oh my god, it actually spelled it out properly. That is a first. And of course, Kylie Ann just got back to me. So yeah, I mean, that's really impressive. I love that feature. And the whole part of it is, you know what, just let me clarify one thing. Hi, sorry about the long texts. I'm actually filming right now as I'm typing all of that out to you. Sorry, I'm not typing, I'm talking, but I'm just giving an example in the video. You'll see what I'm talking about. And I hit send right away, and I didn't even have time to fully register, but it got everything in there correctly. That's impressive. I've used other phones where it was somewhat okay, but you'd have to constantly be going back and correcting it, and that was really annoying to deal with. The fact that this is so accurate is really impressive to me. The other features I've been trying to mess around with, because it's been a long time since I've used this style Android. I've used the Samsung S4. I really considered getting the Note 5. I was going to wait for the Note 7, but then I decided, you know what, I'm going to stick with BlackBerry. I love having my BBM. I love all the features that it has, and everything else about this phone I am loving. Now, the battery life, again, I use a lot of battery, but it does not interfere with my day. I had a day off recently. No, technically that's not true. I still had to work. But I use my phone as a normal person, and by the end of the day, still had the 20% charge. That's really good. Even when I had my iPhones, they would not last that long. And this is when I was very more social on social media and everything else on the fact. A couple of the other things I'm really enjoying is the price of this phone. If you're looking for a phone that's affordable and actually has the quality of most other phones on the market, this is the one to go for. The thing that I like about is, like, as an example, the iPhone 7 was announced last week. I was going to do a video on that, but I decided I'm probably going to get a lot of hate mail about this, so I'm not going to do it. But some of the things that I find funny is iPhone 7, massively expensive, as Apple is, and don't get me wrong, I do like some of the features that Apple actually offers, but at the same time, I don't like a lot of things about what they do and how they do it. So as an example, the iPhone 7 versus DTEK 50 is the camera quality. Both front and back cameras on the DTEK 50 are better quality than what's coming out on the iPhone 7. Not by much, but enough that it actually makes a difference. Battery life, in all honesty, from my experience with the iPhone 6s, is this lasts a bit longer. for how much I use it. I tested out an iPhone 6S. I had a friend who got one. They were doing something where they were going to be out of the country, so I got to use the phone for a bit, and I fucking hated it. I honestly did. Just some of the things I needed were not working properly, and just the kind of flipping back and forth. Keyboard, I do enjoy. I do enjoy typing on this. When I'm busy, though, and I need to use that voice-to-text feature, I mean, it comes in so handy. I've got to admit, I'm just blown away at the quality of that and how it's registering everything that I'm saying. Once in a while, I will point this out though with the phone, is when I'm on the phone, it kind of sounds tinny, like when I have it to my ear, but as soon as I quickly adjust the volume, that changes, and then I put the volume back up to what it was, and it doesn't come back, so I'm really enjoying that. The other thing that I do like, of course, is the fact that I have the actual BBM app is... Sorry, I shouldn't be reading messages while I'm trying to do this. Is the voice notes. Voice notes are one thing that I miss. Now, in case you're not familiar with BBM or voice notes versus voice to text, voice notes basically allow me to go and say, if I click this button here, let's go with Bart on this one. Okay, so I'm going to be like, hey Bart, I'm just showing people how the voice notes work. If you have a moment, any chance in the next 2 minutes, you might be able to send me one back? So when I send that to him, of course, BBM shows me that it's delivered, and when he takes a look at it. And the main thing is that it enables me to get things across quicker. If I get to a point where I'm going to start having my own sales staff, I'm going to make it mandatory to have these phones just for those features alone, so I can be like, okay, you need to go to this place, or you need to handle this part of this. Give me an update on this. Don't, you know, it'll make things quicker and easier, just on a productivity standpoint. It's just, I don't know. I've used other phones. I've tried to use other phones. I've wanted to go on different platforms, but I always end up coming back. The fact that these two platforms are mixed together, it works. It works. It flows nicely. BB10 was great, but it did have its limitations. As an example, one reason I briefly considered going back to iPhone, which is also why I was testing out the iPhone 6S, was because my wife told me that she missed being able to FaceTime with me. Now, I was like, oh. I didn't get the iPhone because I wanted to stick with Blackberry, and I wanted to test out the new unit that they had coming out, which was the DTEK 50. So what I did was, and this is the one thing that's a little bit strange, and I do understand it, but because of the fact that there's a different OS on here, it won't communicate with the BBM on here. Now, let me clarify what I mean. What I did originally was I completely wiped my passport, and I was going to let my wife use the passport because I wanted to do BBM video chat with her. But the thing is with the BB10 version, it won't communicate video-wise with the DTEK 50 because of the different OSs and this different type of version. So what I had to do was I actually had to download the app onto our iPad, and that worked, but it won't actually let you video chat in between the two, which is, you know, kind of understandable because they are slowly stepping away from BB10, but they are integrating a lot of the features on BB10 that are fantastic into these phones. I'm actually regretting not trying the Priv. So the bonus of this is the fact that now I can actually video chat with my wife in between my meetings. Like, 'cause there are times where I can't come home and then have to head back to where I'm going. That works. That's perfect. I don't need to get an iPhone to do that. I mean, FaceTime was a novelty that was really big at some point, but now it's just kind of, but how many people actually use FaceTime anymore? That's the main point of it. I'm trying to think of a complaint. I want to find something wrong with this phone. What do I not like about the phone? Oh, the one thing I don't like about the phone is the structure. And by that, not the shape of it, nothing else is just, and this is actually a stupid complaint because it's completely my fault. I was driving and it slid off of my console and then went down my seat. And you see those little dents there? Yeah, it hit the metal part of the seat, you know, the parts that hold the seat in. But now that I think about it, it's a stupid complaint to have because of the fact that it flew off the dashboard, went down the seat, and hit. I mean, gravity is a thing. Look, the screen's completely fine. It didn't crack. If that was an iPhone, my screen would have been spiderwebbed everywhere. Okay, that's pretty much it. A month later, I love this phone. I'm finding nothing completely wrong with it. I mean, there are probably a couple little bugs that some people are finding, but I'm not having any issues with this phone whatsoever. There are some features I'm still learning to use, so until I get a chance to do that, I'll make another video later on, but a month later, I have no regrets with getting this phone. I'm really excited to see what other units are coming out with, as long as they're still going with this mixed-in platform and maybe some slight little tweaks here and there. Great. There's some things with the calendar that I wasn't too sure about, but now I'm figuring them out. And I'm trying to keep this under 10 minutes. I failed miserably, and I've been talking really fast. If you have any comments, please feel free to leave them. If you like the video, click like. I really don't care. I don't do this for monetization or for subs. I just do this as a hobby. I have my own business that takes up 80, oh god, more than 80. Other people would argue that's more than 80. I am going to start trying to do vlogs on a different channel. I just have to figure out how to get an annotation to show that down here. And yeah, aside from that, if you have any questions, I'm actually going to go through some of the comments right now. And if I find enough comments that I can actually make a reply to, since I have a bit of time, I will make another video in a few minutes just responding to the comments. Anyways, thanks for watching. Again, feel free to leave a comment. Until then, be safe.